Hey everyone, Coach Michelle here. So, if you saw my post earlier, I was doing this. I'm not listening. Well, let me tell you what I'm not listening to. And you shouldn't be either. You shouldn't be listening to no, or there's nothing wrong with you, or it's all in your head, or you just need to lose weight, or you just need to take a sleeping pill and get more sleep. Okay, let me tell you right off. I'm not saying do not listen to your doctor. I'm not telling you that at all. What I am saying is don't take there's nothing wrong with you. I can't find anything wrong with you. Or it's all in your head kind of answers. That's not a doctor telling you to do something because you have something that is wrong with you. That is him telling you there's nothing wrong with you. And why I say this is because so many people go to the doctor and they have, these symptoms and they're telling the doctor, and the doctor, some doctors don't even run lab work or do exams. They just kind of go off the symptoms you're giving them, and they may kind of feel around on things, and they're like, well, I don't see anything wrong with you. And, they may let's say you're fatigued, yet you have insomnia and you have anxiety. And maybe you have not put two and two together yet on a lot of your other symptoms. Well, so many are so quick to give you a depression pill. Oh, well, you're depressed. Here's a prescription. Or, some of them are looking at you, you got back pain, you got knee pains. Okay, so you're a little overweight, maybe a little more overweight, but you have been eating right and exercising, trying everything to lose weight, right? Well, you go in there with this back pain and knee pain, and the doctor's like, well, you just need to lose some weight, and it'll, take care of the back pain and the knee pains because you're overweight and it's causing problems. Well, they totally dismiss the whole I'm doing everything I can, I'm eating right, I'm exercising, I can't lose. They totally dismiss that. There are other areas, for example, let me tell you, my best friend Kim, I don't know if you can hear my dog walking around. She had been in pain ever since she was young with her back. And, of course, when you're young, people's like, oh, it's just growing pains, or you're young, you can't be hurting, things like that. Well, when she was going to the doctors, years later, they would all say there's nothing wrong with you. And even though there have been x-rays and MRIs and things, and, they would see little things that they would question, like in her neck. There was a couple of doctors that asked her, have you had a neck injury? And she'd be like, no. And of course, she wasn't thinking to ask questions. But, me, I'd be like, well, why are you asking that? What are you seeing on this x-ray? Why you would ask me that? And, they would never say anything. They just dismissed it. Well, if you're seeing something there, that could be a problem. But again, so many doctors don't connect the dots. They're thinking, okay, well, this problem up here can't possibly be connected to this other problem. Or like in her lower back, for so many years, she's had spasms and she's had other issues with her back. And they'd be like, there's nothing wrong with you. It's all in your head. Or they would look at her chart and see that she suffers from depression and bipolar, and they would automatically close it off, and they would be like, well, I think it has to do with your mental disorders. Because you can have physical pain from your mental disorders. However, the way these doctors were putting it, they're basically saying, well, you're depressed, you have mental issues, and you're imagining this pain. Is basically what they were saying. So, back to her lower back pain, it was like a couple of years ago, finally, and it was a chiropractor. It wasn't all these doctors she was going to. Her lumbar, her last vertebrae, or basically she has an extra vertebrae, but it's going into the sacrum, so it doesn't know if it wants to be a vertebrae or a sacrum, but it's there, and that can cause back problems. It's an issue. So why all these other people did not catch it is beyond me. So that's what I'm saying. My whole point of this is, if you are having, fatigue, insomnia, anxiety, other aches and pains, muscle pains, joint pains, can't lose weight, all the different things like, being cold intolerant and, all the different myriad of symptoms that I had listed previously. If you have all these symptoms and you go to the doctor and they're like, there's nothing wrong with you, be adamant about and push and say, I want some testing done. And, if because some people go in and don't know to ask to begin with. But if you are suspecting your thyroid, then make sure you definitely, like I've said, ask for a comprehensive thyroid panel. And even if it comes back, but you're still seeing symptoms, there is a wide range there of numbers once you get your lab work done. You could be on the high end or the low end. Just because you're in that range does not mean there's not a problem. So I personally would actually get a second opinion if that doctor says, well, you're perfectly fine. And like I said, this goes with anything, but I'm not saying all doctors. Don't get me wrong. Doctors are great. We need them. But again, they are not taught to connect the dots. So they don't look at this and this as being connected to this. And, if they send you on your way saying, well, there's nothing wrong with you. I can't see nothing wrong with you. I mean, did they send you for any kind of testing? Did they send you to get more testing or specific testing? Did they send you to get x-rays or MRIs or, the different things that could possibly, depending on what your symptoms are, like with my back. And some of it has to do with insurance companies. Well, if I would have waited to get my MRI when my insurance was going to pay for it, I probably have a lot more damage than I do. I had herniated disc. But of course, the protocol is put me on a couple of months of pain meds, muscle relaxers. If that doesn't work, then go to physical therapy. If that doesn't work, then get an MRI. Why not get an MRI to begin with to see what the problem is so you know what you're treating? They're treating symptoms. They're not treating the cause. So, tip for you. If you are going to the doctor and you know something's wrong and they tell you nothing's wrong, you push to have lab work done, to get more testing done. Go Google search your symptoms. Make a list of all your symptoms. Google search them. Put every single one, put a comma, but put every single one and see what pops up. There can be different reasons. It may not be your thyroid. It could be other things because so many things mimic each other. But go in with an arsenal of saying, okay, and doctors don't like it. I do know they don't like it when you go to WebMD or you Google search something. But go in with an arsenal. It's your body. I don't care how many years of schooling a doctor has. They are not in your body. They're not feeling what you're feeling. They're not going through what you're going through. So you are the one that needs to push. If your doctor won't do it, find another doctor. Get a second opinion. My biggest suggestion, if you can, some insurance, like if you have an health savings account, will pay for this. But some insurances won't. But if you can go to a functional medicine doctor, I highly suggest it. Even if it's just for a consultation, I suggest you go. Because they put all the dots together. So, that's my tips. Push. If you know something's wrong, they're telling you nothing's wrong, push until they do something about it. More testing, more something, refer you to another doctor. Make lists of everything, symptoms, what's going on, what time of day, different things like that. So you have an arsenal when you go into the doctor. And if possible, go to a functional medicine doctor. And that's what I have about what not to listen to. Listen to your body, but never listen to there's nothing wrong with you, because you know different. Have a great day.